Everybody. Thanks for joining today for the last session of our 2021 Florida ALHFA Educational Conference. Hope everybody has enjoyed and learned from the sessions. We again thank all of our sponsors, and they were all rolling on the screen there before we switched to this view. Thank them. Without them, we wouldn't be able to put on the conference, and we certainly wouldn't be able to have a conference that's free. So today's session is the traditional finale for Florida ALHFA, the roundtable session, where we break into small groups, and we'll go through the logistics of doing that, our smaller groups, and you discuss among yourselves things that you liked about the conference, didn't like. When we go back in person, things you'd like to see in the future, we definitely want that. And also any things you'd like to see from Florida ALHFA going forward in terms of policy or study, documents, action. So it's sort of free form there. But we definitely have done the virtual conference for 2 years, and hopefully we plan on being back in person next year. So Susan, if you'd like to kind of talk the logistics, and also we also advertised this, and it was important for CLE and other credits that there would be a room for attorneys so they could have a roundtable, and one for CPAs. However, if we find when we break into the rooms that there's not enough attorneys in a room or CPAs in a room, we can liberate you back to a bigger room. But we want to start with that. And Susan, if you could do the logistics.
Yeah, this is, normally we have breakfast. I'm sorry, we don't have breakfast or really good bacon today or anything that kind of entices you to come to this, but we appreciate everybody participating. But we really use these sessions as what can we do better next year? Well, we already know that we're going to do better next year because we'll be in person and that'll be more fun. But from a subject matter, kind of would like some feedback on how this has gone, what was good, what you'd like to see different, what you might like us to do in the future. And then you can also remember that we will be going to, barring any hurricanes, we will be going to a in-person session next year. And that any ideas that maybe came up during this year's longest conference in the world is what we were told. We had the longest conference in the world from our meetings and sessions that we had. If there's some ideas that came up or you thought about during that process, this is a great time to mention that. Repeat, don't repeat. This is what we like. This is what we don't like. So how we do this is break into rooms, we normally would break into tables. In this instance, we're breaking into rooms. And how we will do that, there will be on the bottom of your screen, you should see something that says breakout rooms.
Yeah, in a minute, we get everybody back. If everybody who's not reporting, if you could mute, that would be great. And when we get everyone back, we'll move around. Rich.
We have one.
What do you have on your shelf back there?
What's that?
What do you have on your shelf? You have a whole series.
Oh, that's not even, it's just a fake thing.
Fake background.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
looks kind of cool though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, you're in a nice place.
If I had anything, it'd be FSU things and Buccaneer things.
My stuff isn't fake, so if anybody wants any of these documents, come right ahead.
Hey, David, I just want to say you did a great job the other day filling in, and that was really outstanding. So,
thank you, Rich.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Oh, David.
We have one breakout room that is refusing to break up, but it will close. It will force them out in 28 seconds. So.
Our breakout room was dying. Thank you for taking us out. Jim Ryan did a spectacular job, but we We were dying.
He was the M to Z room.
Yeah.
And there are only 5 of us that figured out we were an M to Z.
Here they're coming.
Here we are.
Lisa, is everybody back?
Shows 29.
I see David Hollis is by a tropical pool. I think that must be a fake background
Yeah,
there.
that's a.
Yeah, for sure. Just like
That's
that
not-
wind.
Actually, that's like out in the woods.
It's the Kulasazia River just outside of Highlands, North Carolina.
Okay. Okay, I think we've got virtually everyone back, and if we could start, Gloria, if you could unmute and report on your gigantic CPA room.
We had 3 participants, Gail, and Gail, last name I may be butchering, Malin, and then we believe it's Cheyenne Price.
Yeah.
She called in. She had some great ideas, so I won't belabor it. Here's the first one. Ms. Price suggested that we have more reports and reviews of projects that are structured in unique forms and formats. So for example, the project down in Miami-Dade with the Coast Guard facility, how the federal government, the city government, and so many other agencies that I can't remember work together to make that happen. So we think that would be good if we could have more of that, some type of presentation. We spent a little time, the second topic was term limits. How do the different authorities work term limits? How do you approach the issue of, if you do have term limits, the loss of institutional knowledge, especially when you have big deals in progress and you're trying to bring them to fruition. And then if you do not have term limits, how do you handle board members who are not functioning effectively? Or perhaps there's a chemistry issue among board members that you can't resolve. So maybe some attorneys and others could talk about what works well in different agencies, and as well as have some people who have dealt with these issues and share what they do. The third one we had was when we do go back to in-person conferences, it is hoped that we could still have a Zoom alternative with recording of sessions where people might be missing them during the day. And if you could make the conference topics that you think are most important, and in the past, most people have watched the highest level of participation, perhaps schedule those during the 11 to 1 o'clock time frame. So if people want to hear them Zoom in that time of day, usually they could work it around their business requirements. Last one, could we have possibly national speakers from affordable housing associations and from federal government representatives or employees that are in the housing authority arena? So we came up with 4.
Cool.
Thank you.
See, when you get to go first, nobody has had your idea, so you get the first shot at it.
Good to know for future reference.
That's it. Whoever raises their hand first usually gets to put all theirs out there without having to worry about reputation. Okay, so go to the attorneys. Mark?
Sherry Golly for the attorneys, yeah.
Okay, for the attorneys, we also had a large group of 4. First, we talked about all of the positives that this conference was very well done, very well organized. Even if it was the longest conference ever, we thought that it allowed us time to make sure that we were able to attend. By having 2 sessions a week for an hour long, we were able to make sure to be there instead of one conference for 2 or 3 days when you couldn't dedicate the time to sitting in front of your computer. We like the short virtual sessions, but the concern was raised that maybe we should consider a dual approach when we go live next year. Choose those sessions for in-person that we know are the most critical sessions. Stay away from having concurrent sessions, which make people have to make a choice. We thought that we learned that everything was so important to hear during the session that we don't want, our suggestion is not giving us a choice, maybe hold some sessions, the less critical ones, to a virtual type offering after the conference, making them where we have monthly sessions or things like that, the shorter ones, and doing something like that, a dual approach. We also talked about, there was a session, Rhonda participated in, the one that had Bonds 101 and a couple of other topics. Maybe that session needed like a part 1 and a part 2 in person, maybe doing that morning session, part 1, come after lunch and do a part 2, because there was so much important information that was given that we felt that the short session did not allow it the ample time. Just hitting on some other things we discussed, having Lisa send those reminders, that was great. It was up on our calendars. We made sure to attend. Recording is a great plus. Talking about what the first group mentioned, maybe having that recording still, even when we're in person, being able to go back, tell our board members, people who were not able to attend, hey, it's going to be online. There's a recording. Make sure you take advantage of tuning into that recording because you missed some great stuff. We thought that was something that was good. Philip mentioned, we discussed the uniform multifamily guideline, having it consistent throughout the state, just having a basic guideline for us, maybe addressing that at the conference and seeing if we can build upon that and really doing that. I think that was about it. If I missed anything, I know I have committee members that were with me. But yeah, all good stuff.
Well, see, they were attorneys, so they were getting paid by the word, so they had 6 suggestions.
Okay, so we got the Harry Hedges group.
Turn your mic on, Harry.
Go to Jim Ryan.
How about now?
Okay, got it.
All right. As you said, with that many people going ahead of us, all of the good things were mentioned. But one of the
likely story.
Yeah. But we did have a lively group. Sue, Richard, a number of people were very much into what was going on. The comment came up, as you mentioned, how could we do live and virtual? Consensus was that you lose a lot when we're at a point in our world right now where we need to become comfortable face to face, especially with our state representatives, our local representatives, our city council and county commissioners. So we've got to learn how to interact. The idea of recording, everybody loves that, so they can go back and follow up on what they may have missed, or just hear something again, just to make sure that they've got it. We've all talked about how long the conference was, but the comment came up again. It's on your calendar. You're there. You know you've got plans at noon to 1 o'clock. So you're not going to schedule anything else if you want to be part of the conference. So, that worked in these challenging times. Other than that, Sue or Richard, did I miss anything?
You missed your quota. You got
No,
two.
I think there was one, there was one more that we did discuss, and that was having single sessions.
Right.
Everybody attends the same session at the same time and not have competing sessions when we're in Sarasota. That there was value to that. I think that was the other thing, Harry, that we had thrown out there.
Yeah. And of
Okay.
course, my quota was already met by everybody else.
Like your
Anyway.
story.
We have a lot of enthusiasm in our group, so it was a good conference.
Okay. All right, Jim.
Jim Ryan.
We had a fabulous 5 in our group
I like that.
and came up with 5 ideas. First was just some feedback. The single family session and the best practices sessions were very good. Would like a little more detail at times, but that was probably be easier to do when it's live. And overall, well, a second thing, if we had another Zoom conference, the suggestion was at least a couple of them do double session, so it doesn't turn into the longest conference of all. So 1 or 2 be a back-to-back sessions. But looking forward to a live, the feedback was, all right, we want people to come to the conference. So all the sessions of the conference would be live. Some of the sessions should probably be recorded. And a few sessions could be Zoom so that those that aren't able to attend would still be able to participate live. And other information will be available later recorded. But to get all of the conference, you really need to be live. A few other side comments were HFAs would like to continue getting some feedback on the Realtors Constitutional Amendment effort. What do we need to do and what do we need to do? And in addition, if Florida Alpha could look a little more intently into manufactured housing and that as an option for affordable housing.
Okay.
I think that covered all of it.
Great.
All right. Did anything come up that was not mentioned that anybody wants to add to this list? This list, what we do with this is actually take this to our retreat in January, where we start working on the conference that will be coming up. So in January of 22, we will be meeting as a board, talking about what the conference in July will be from an agenda and from a priority perspective. So these get taken there and they're discussed and looked with other suggestions from other years as a whole. So does anybody have anything that they didn't hear that they would like to bring up and their leaders wouldn't let them talk about it and now they want to do it? Just checking.
Great. Well, on behalf of the Florida Alpha's board, several members are on here, Rich and Jim, Harry, Sherry. Am I missing any other board members that are on? I don't think so. Anyway, thanks to the Florida Alpha board for all the guidance and the input and for your help during this conference. It's been really critical. We thank everybody who joined the sessions, and again, they're all posted up and on the FLALHFA conference.com website, and they're all up on our regular just Florida Alpha website as well. So the conference website is a temporary one. That'll be there for a little bit, and we will, but we'll be migrating the recordings over and, to the main website. So they'll still be available all year long there.
Hey,
So,
Mark, let me ask something. Will those people, the people that visited the exhibit site, I'm assuming that anybody today that still wanted to visit it would still be eligible for whatever prizes might be available. But I would say at the end of this week,
the end of this week, yep, it will give people till the end of the week, and then we'll take 10 winners and notify them. We just want to, really be nice for our sponsors. If people could visit the exhibit hall, that's really important. The attorneys ask that we send the CLE information again. We'll do that, and we are, I think, still waiting on this on the CPA, or did we get that too?
no, we're still waiting on the CPA, but I think there's a CLE at the conference site that has that information
Yeah,
on
but we'll send it out. We ended.
it. No,
Something.
she's
Oh,
showing.
there it is.
Yeah,
That's
CLE
the
credits.
CLE credits right there.
Right, I had it posted.
Other than church.
What happened?
Okay, somebody has got their unmuted, and I don't know that the church is part of our recommendations for next year, but it isn't, still for our unmiked last year, the worst part for doing stupid stuff on camera was me eating. This year it was the order for, what was the order for?
McDonald's.
Big Mac?
Yeah, the McDonald's order that we got this year. So we will have that in with fries ready for that order. Again, thanks to everybody for joining. We appreciate all that feedback. We'll work on it. We always strive to have new things at the conference, even though the general topics, will be the same often. We try not to just repeat the same things. And we'll, where it's getting stale, we'll try to wrap it a little differently for next year. So with that, we'll thank Lisa. Lisa, you're on there somewhere. Thank you for all of the work you did in the background. It was really super of keeping this thing running smoothly. And we thank everybody, and we'll see everybody in person next year in Sarasota. Thanks.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.